No, my headphones in there.
Your headphones are on your head.
No, Dina, the other ones. Hello, y'all need to tell me if I have volume because for whatever reason I can't hear it. I can't hear my thing. Let me see if my other Bluetooth headphones are on. Yeah, maybe that's it. Let's see here. Does that do anything? Do y'all hear me at all? I don't hear myself. That's the thing. I'm not hearing myself.
The thing said it's good. Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what the problem is. I can't hear myself.
Melinda's out in the field. We love you too, Melinda. Be careful out in the field. It's cold.
Let me see if I can find out why I can't hear myself.
Well, you can't hear yourself talking?
I can hear myself like through my ears, but nothing's coming out of the computer, and that's what.
So why do you need it to come out of the computer?
Well, it'd be nice if I could hear myself. You're very loud, somebody said.
Everybody can hear you fine.
I don't understand why I cannot. I don't understand why I cannot.
Can y'all hear me?
Hear myself. Let me get over here and figure out this real quickly.
Lynn, can you hear me?
Okay, I don't know why.
Where are the boys? Okay, y'all can hear me, so that's good.
I don't know. I don't know. I can't. Something's happening where. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
My iPad up here is doing weird things. Here, hold on a minute.
Hello, everyone.
Hold on 1 second, if you would. I've got something here on my iPad that's I've never seen before at the top of my iPad. That is strange.
Oh, Lou, we're sorry that your husband tested positive.
Yeah, that's
the couple that are buying our store on Friday. She tested positive today.
So we're hoping that we do not get it. I don't know why.
I'm not worried about it. But
I don't know why we can't. I'm not hearing myself. But if y'all hear us, that's fine. It's real disruptive to me if I don't hear myself talk.
Take those things off and you'll hear yourself.
Hold on a minute. Huh? Yeah, I mean, I hear my voice here, but I don't hear it coming to the computer.
The volume is awesome, Sally said.
I know. I don't understand why we're not hearing it here. That's the thing. Hold on a minute. Just a minute.
Oh, my goodness. Y'all, this is what I deal with all the time. Where's my phone? I can't find my phone. Well, where was it the last time you had it?
Okay, let's see.
My sweet husband.
No, that's not it. I thought it was something in the software, but I guess it's not it. If y'all can hear us, that's fine. That's all.
They've done told you. We can hear you.
Okay.
Well, he's not even showing a sign. That's great.
Maggie, good. I know you're in here. You're telling us you're here now. That's good, Maggie. One thing I want to talk about today before we get into our main subject, if my dogs don't create another, feels like a hurricane hitting the thing. Could be the headphones, somebody says. No, I don't think so.
Do you turn them on?
These are automatic. I do hear myself a little bit, but I don't understand here. Hold on a minute.
So, Lou, did they tell you to take vitamin C and zinc for COVID?
But what I want to talk about first, and she's talking to y'all too, so maybe I'll just shut up just a minute. We have been taking vitamin C big time and vitamin D3 and zinc.
Yes.
But the last people that we talked to that had it gave them a Z-Pack. So I emailed my doctor today and asked her if she wouldn't think the possibility of us doing the Z-Pack. What? Oh, you want to come on? You need to download the little thingy jig so I can put you on.
I did.
I don't see you in my studio though. You have to do that.
Take vitamins with hot water, Lou said.
Okay.
You're on the backstage.
First thing I want to talk about, and let me just finish. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I can't see you, so I don't know if you're talking or not. This girl here, Whitney Loveloff, or whatever her name was, the one that went missing from the airport. That's one. These are 3 pictures. I think these are the most flattering pictures of her. This is the other picture here from the airport. She has contacted the, put a little video out on YouTube saying basically that she's safe, but she doesn't want to come home. And she's been talking apparently to other people, and a lot of these people have just been saying, "Oh man, it's just I'm glad you're safe, and very brave of you to come online." And fellas, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you, she's breaking the law, and I understand if she's abused at home, but there's no evidence of any abuse at home. Her mother was on the Draper Brothers, and I thought she was very, I guess, open about her life and her family. And so to me, it sounds like somebody, if there's something going on at the house, then go to the authorities and get some custody with her father, that she was with.
Tyson has it up on his thing that she's been found.
She has been found, but she's not coming in. That was this afternoon. I listened to the thing this afternoon. There's the True Sisters crime line on Facebook said that she has not come home. She has been found, but she does not want to come home. That's what they're saying. But I want to just read you something here. This is Colorado law right there for somebody that does, under Colorado law, harboring or sheltering a minor without the permission of his or her guardian or parent is against the law in certain circumstances. Unlawfully harboring a minor is a Class 2 misdemeanor resulting in jail time and up to $1,000 fine. And usually when that's a year in city jail. So I was just making that point. There's a lot of people saying, "Oh, well, she maybe I'm glad she's safe." They didn't know if she's safe or not. They just knew she'd been found, but she just didn't want to go home, basically. I just simply saying is that's not up to her. That's up to the courts. And I think a lot of people are just trying to think, well, maybe she's being abused at home. Well, there wasn't any evidence of any abuse at home. And if there were, they should have went back to the proper authorities to get somebody to bring her into custody. What?
Lynn said the mother's first husband was murdered. So she's very
He was a police officer.
Understandable.
He was a police officer and he was murdered. Yes, I already knew that. But here's the thing. Her natural father, she had just spent time with, her natural father. No indication that there was anything wrong at all. No indications with anything wrong with her mother. Her mother had text messages where she's sending her hearts and love you and I can't wait to get back home, everything. So somebody just assuming that there's something wrong at home when there's no evidence of that. If there is evidence, she should have told her father before she got on the plane to come back.
Allie J said Tyson went to the airport to see if she was on CCTV. The mother and the family are now not replying to Tyson Brothers, and all their social media has been removed. Strange.
Yeah, it is strange. It's strange, but I'm going to tell you this. If
the police are working with Whitney to return her home.
They're trying to get her to come home.
Yes.
That's all it is.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you, folks, just because somebody thinks that they don't want to come home, that there's automatically abuse in the family, that is not the case in most cases. If she had a real problem coming home to her family, she needed to tell her daddy out there before she got on that plane. And I'm going to make people mad, but I think that's all that is. It's just an unruly teenager just didn't want to come home.
Okay. The concern that Anna has on the video at the end, she says, "Pray for me."
Yeah, well, I mean, I understand that too. And that's another thing and a reason why, if she was talking to the police, to meet with the police and let the state get involved if there's any kind of custody situation, because she could have been forced to make her say that, you know. I don't know. It was just a difficult thing. I saw the video myself. She was convincing that she was safe. I heard that at the end too. Pray for me, but I don't know what that means.
Tyson's mom has replied to Tyson now. She was told by police to stay quiet.
Yeah, because they try. See, here's the thing, and you know, maybe she watches all these. I don't know, but if she is being harbored by somebody, a family or whatever is holding her, or a friend, they can go to jail for that.
For letting her stay at the house?
Absolutely.
How old is this girl?
She's 15.
Oh, sorry.
Here's the thing. Here, read it. Under Colorado law, harboring or sheltering. Sheltering is what exactly they're doing. Harboring is when you are maybe harboring. They're actually preventing their parents from getting in touch with them without permission or of his or her parents or guardian is against the law in certain circumstances. What the circumstances is, and I went and read that, is this. This is a situation where they're a runaway and they're not telling anybody their name or anything, and they shelter them down there, and there's obvious some type of abuse where maybe they've been arrested and the courts had, just a number of things. But everything that I heard from this girl, everything her friends said online under Reddit and all these other places is that, frankly, she just don't want to come back. She apparently, one thing I read was she had a boyfriend, and mother said she didn't like the boyfriend for whatever reason and was preventing them from dating. Well, she's 15, people. Unfortunately, we are not our children's friends, and we talked about that last time. We work from the heart. If she wants to wait, she wants to, in 2 more years, 2 or 3 more years, she's 15 or 16 years old. 2 more years, she gets 18 years old or 19 in Alabama. Then she can go out and do everything she wants to do. But she doesn't have the mental capacity at 15 or 16 years old under the law to make those decisions for herself. And if there's some type of abuse involved, then she needs to go to the police and tell them what it is, and then go back and live with her father. Personally, I have not seen anything that tells me that that is the case. What I see is a kid that just don't want to mind their parents. And that's just it. I might lose some subscribers from this because I read some comments on these Facebook people saying, "Oh man, I can't believe she's so good. I'm glad she's safe." And if she's worried about, maybe she's having abuse, maybe is a big word. Maybe she's being abused. Let's let the police get involved, the state be involved, and let them place her with her father back wherever she was visiting. She went and had a great time. Look at her phone and see if she had this thing going on where she's texting her mother and no indication of anything. Here's the thing that they said. She wore a wig when she got off the plane. She was carrying the witnesses on the plane, saw her with a burner phone. She had a complete other phone with her. It was planned. It was planned from the get-go. And her mother says she's got a phone. She turned over to police. It shows her saying, "Can't wait to get home, hearts, I love you," all this stuff. And then why in the world? She even swapped her bag out with somebody else so she would not be seen getting that bag. I'm telling you, folks, it doesn't look like to me that it is nothing but just somebody wanting not to mind their parents. It
could have been the TikTok challenge. There is a TikTok challenge of disappearing.
Yeah, I don't think this is the case, though. It's over a boyfriend. I think parents said no.
Stop.
For whatever reasons. They have their reasons. I mean, that we're not supposed to be your friend growing up. We're supposed to be the ones that care about you and care about your safety and concern. And I'm sorry, I just don't go for that kind of stuff. I have seen too many missing person cases end up in tragedy where she thinks she's safe. She's out there with friends. She thinks she is. Gets slipped something in her drink, gets date-rape drug, gets raped. Anything could happen when you're not in the custody of your parents that have your best well-being for you. And it makes people mad. I'm sorry, that's my opinion. And I've seen people that have run away and then it ends tragically. I've seen people, missing persons, that have ended up dead. So I can just speak from experience, okay? So I've seen ODs, I've seen teen suicide, I've seen people get killed running out in front of a car, drownings, all this kind of thing. So I'm speaking from experience here, not just speaking off the top of my head. Lots of stuff can go wrong in situations like that. We just can't brush it off and say, well, there must be something wrong at home. There must be some abuse. Or could just be somebody that don't want to mind their parents. How about that? That's 90. They said that almost every runaway, 90-something% come home. If there was something real bad, they need to go to the police. Maybe they don't need to come home.
If you have questions, please put them in all caps.
There you are.
Go let the dogs out. Who let the dogs out?
Who let the dogs out? Another case that we want to touch on. There's no news right now, no new stuff. They raised the award to $80,000 now for the 2 boys missing in California City. They did do searches in Bakersfield and California City. No word yet. Nothing. I don't know if they polygraphed the parents. There's no indication that they did. I don't know. You're back real far. If you look at us on the screen, we're not even.
You're up higher than me.
Okay, there you go. Take it down just a little bit. I don't look like I'm towering over you.
You are towering over me.
$80,000 reward. So maybe that will actually generate somebody to come forward and say, hey, we know what happened to these boys. In this situation, unfortunately, I think it's going to have a tragic end. I hope it doesn't, but they've been missing now for 3 weeks unless somebody's got them with them. I just don't see it coming out to have anything but a tragic end. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope I'm wrong. There was, I understand there were some bodies found about 50 or 60 miles from this location. And they went out there. It was first reported it was children. But when we got out there, they said that I think it ended up being one person, and it was a transient. So, California has a lot of crime. Everybody, just about a lot of people have a lot of crime. But California tends to draw, I think, a lot of bad people out there, and it may be because the weather's so good. They tend to launch they have a big transient population, and also because they do give a lot of benefits to transients.
Like that surfer that surfed every day and ate sushi.
Yeah. But I think that, I hope they polygraphed him. At least that would come out if they did or not. The sheriff or the chief of police coming out and saying, we know that foul play was involved. That's a big time pressure on them because the adopted mother and father are pretty much the only ones that had, last seen with him. The film we talked about last time, and I put it in the narrative. If you went and watched that, I think you get a pretty good idea that I believe the adopted father made all that film up. I don't think those kids are ever at that house. That's just my opinion on it. The film doesn't show that they were at that night. He did go out in the backyard, moving around and stuff. He did go to the front yard. He did drive around, but they never was. I mean, the camera's right there. There was no kids that came out that front yard at all on camera, and there's no evidence. I don't see that. If it had been my house, I'd have checked those side yards first. That would have been number one because they could have been sitting down there playing anything. I just don't believe they were ever there. Anybody have any questions, statements, complaints? Real Gone Adventure Media. Yeah, if you're here, welcome. We want to cover a little bit about Suzanne Morphew the last half hour here. We've been on about 21 minutes. I don't know if Chris from his new show, The Interview Room, is going to have Barry Morphew on there or not. I heard that he was going to cover that case pretty extensively. And he does have a phone call teaser in his upcoming thing where Barry answers the phone, but that's no guarantee that Barry's going to talk to him. I don't know if he called him, he answered, and he tried to talk to him or not. But either way, that would be a good interview, I'm sure. I can't see if Barry has an attorney, if the attorney would ever let him talk to anybody again after what he's been through, as far as, opening his mouth out here. But it was been 8 months on the 11th, I think it is. And this is what Lauren Scharf on the 10th, I'm sorry. Today is 8 months since Suzanne Morphew was reported missing. Sheffield County Sheriff's Office said they have filled 1,300 plus tips and continued, to pursue vigorously to pursue all leads, and they give the tip line there. 1,300 tips. Now, I know that I personally have gotten about 25 or 30 people email me things. Some of it's been passed on to others. I passed on to some people that are going to look into it. But, when you do a missing persons case or a possibility of a homicide case, you will get 1,000 tips. 1,300 is a lot, though. It is a lot of tips in 8 months. It's a lot of tips. That's over 100. 150, about 150 a month. And we can go back and think about what all happened and how it happened and dissect it. But I think most of the people online that follow this case pretty much have their own ideas about who is involved, and they have questions. One of my biggest questions is, I have two really big questions. One is, why was the towels smell like chlorine in the motel? That's huge to me. Why did he have the towels that smell like chlorine? And the next one, which I think has been overlooked by a lot of people, is Morgan, the one that was the worker with him. Why did they get mad at her for turning over her phone? Why was that a problem to turn over her phone? And two, why didn't she take a polygraph? Now, I know a lot of people say, well, she doesn't need to take a polygraph. They're inadmissible and all that. And you know where I stand on that. Yes, they are inadmissible, but they are a huge investigating tool. It would have let the police know if that she was lying or telling the truth about anything she told, because apparently she interviewed with them 3 times. But the main thing is, why would Barry get mad at her for giving the phone to them? I don't know, unless there was some relationship going on between them, or possibly that he had wrote her something on her texts or whatever that, or time that he went against any times that he did. Like there's rumors that, and I don't know if it's ever been verified, that he says he left the house between 6:30 and 7:30, and yet there's somebody said that he was on the phone at 4:00 in the morning talking to his workers. So maybe that was the reason. I don't know. Does anybody have any comments on that?
Thomas, I feel like she may have been partaking of a certain substance. Says living at 66.
Taking what are you talking about?
Probably drugs.
You think Suzanne was oh Lord. We got a running bear in here.
Stop.
You talking about Suzanne was taking a substance? Is that what you're talking about?
Get out of there.
I can hear you on the line. These might pick up. They're trying to get he's trying to get Maggie out of the room.
Yeah,
She's like
earthquake.
It's an earthquake.
Go
Maggie,
away, earthquake, Maggie.
Maggie's been running around chasing
our son Dakota.
Our son Dakota's in the house.
Dakota's in the house.
Dakota's in the house. But are you saying that she might have been given a substance and knocked out?
No, I've got it that he
said that she wasn't interested in Barry, really rich, older, handsome guy. Really a rich, older, handsome guy. She wasn't interested in him, but his truck sounded like fiber. I don't, Sally, I don't know what you're saying there.
MJ said she wasn't interested in Barry.
You talking about Morgan?
Yeah, Morgan, yes.
Okay.
Really a rich, older, handsome guy. She wasn't interested in him, but knew what his truck sounded like at 5 a.m.
Well, supposedly he was on the phone with Morgan and the other guy trying to get some workers up there to do that wall, which the problem with that is the Monday, it was Sunday's Mother's Day, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Monday was a holiday, so they wasn't able to pull a permit up there. So yes, the new DA I think takes office. I want to say I kind of think it's the 15th of this month.
That would be
Friday. But you can expect if the new DA is going to do something, it's going to take a couple of weeks for her to get her feet wet, because there's so much. I understand there's a bunch of crime that's kind of been held back on the books, not prosecuted in another county. She oversees about 4 or 5 counties, I understand, and there's one county that they have been just hounding her about. Let me see. She was attracted. Why wouldn't she have? I can't read that down.
He was attractive, so why wouldn't she have been attracted to him? And somebody else said he was handsome before this, but not now.
Yeah, have you seen pictures of Barry in the past? He's actually thin. He looks totally different.
Gross looking.
He's totally different. And then this time here lately, he looks like he's been muscled up. He's maybe been taking something to help him get buffed up, but I don't know about that. They were a cute couple, but there was a lot of stuff in their mannerisms. In every picture I ever saw them, it looks like she's the one that has her arm around him, and he doesn't. Only a couple of ones that he looks like he has his arm around her. It's almost like they're holding hands one time walking down the beach. That's the only thing I saw. But there's a question of money. Everybody says follow the money. There is a question of money. The house cost around $1.5 million. Suzanne had an inheritance of over $500,000. There were some people saying that possibility that money was an issue. I've heard that drugs may be an issue, that somewhere somebody in the family may have been using or involved with drugs. That's been a rumor.
George Davis was a supplier of steroids, confirmed, says AK.
Okay. Is the police going to do anything about that, or did they know about that? I think that the DA is probably going to get some calls about the first of next month. You know, at least being saying, you know, are you going to look at this? You know, well, there's always steroids. You know, call that roid rage. You know,
Sally said Barry wouldn't even let her use weed during chemo.
Well, see, I'm going to tell you this. You know, I've been, like I said, I'm a retired cop. I did over 33 years, and I did actually over 20 years serving as a narcotics, either in narcotics or running a narcotics unit. And if I had cancer, I would smoke one here to the road out there if it would help the nausea, because I just do not like being nauseated. But so I don't think there's anything wrong with them using it for that. Or if you're in a state that has it recreational, I personally don't want to do that. But if you're doing that, there's nothing wrong with that if it's legal.
What do you use for nausea now?
Finnegan.
Natural.
Oh, natural.
Peppermint oil in your belly button.
Right, it does help. Yeah. I think there's a lot of circumstantial evidence around Barry.
Sam Costa says, "Hi, Melinda and Mr. T. Sorry, but I don't support gossip or innuendo. I only care about what the facts prove, and that's it."
Well, yes, and it being a past law enforcement, I 100% agree with you. But you have to we're looking at what circumstantial evidence is now. There's tons of circumstantial evidence. It is not gossip that he was on the phone at 4:00 contacting his crew. That has been established through, I understand, cell phone communications. So that is not gossip. He said he left the house between 6:30 and 7:30. That is not gossip because he said that. It's not gossip that his GPS on his truck did not match what he told the police that he went to. That is not gossip. It is not gossip that the neighbor at the building site heard some equipment running late at night, long after the crews had been gone from that area. That is not gossip.
Okay, Sam says a preponderance of circumstantial evidence is definitely important.
But see, we do not know what was on the search warrants that were inside the house. That is not gossip. There is a lot of stuff I'm sure that they gathered. It is not gossip that the CBI told Andy, Suzanne's brother, that Barry was not cooperating with them. It is not gossip that the CBI told them that he has refused to take a polygraph and a voice stress analysis. It is not gossip that he has not been out doing searches every weekend and even hindered Andy's search by putting up trail cams and walking around with a shotgun on his shoulder. So we're discussing pretty much not gossip stuff. But as a police officer, what they will look at is everything, the gossip and the non-gossip, because sometimes gossip turns out to be true. My wife's phone. And yes, Alabama won the national championships, and we're very proud of that. Roll Tide. I do not think, I think Suzanne, her remains may be found. There is a possibility, but there's also a possibility it will never be found. Do you need to get up?
I'm getting a strange message. Hold on. What? I know. What? I'm online.
Let me see just a second. I'm trying to read here. Well, you know, if JoJo, if Chris got an interview with him, I don't know. There's no. I mean, I wish he would come out and say if he did or not. I know there is a little tidbit where Barry answers the phone, it sounds like Barry on the phone, but he may just answer the phone and hang up. I hope that he got an interview with him.
Sorry.
If I was, I've heard Barry hired an attorney, and also the girls have an attorney, a separate attorney. But that by itself doesn't make him guilty because, I'm sorry, Maggie, sit, girl, sit. That alone doesn't make him guilty. If I was in his shoes with everything that's going on, I would hire an attorney also, just for the simple fact of making sure that anytime the police wanted to interview me, that I had the attorney with me so they would protect my rights. It doesn't make him any more guilty to do that. But I would say he probably never had an attorney because he didn't feel like he needed one. Or maybe he was, I've heard that he's a real narcissistic person. So that's what we got a dog in her. She got a dog in her lap. But sometimes somebody believes, why should I, if I get an attorney to make me look guilty? I'm sorry, folks. If the FBI were to call me today and say, hey, I need you to come in and talk to me, my attorney would be with me because I just don't know what, you never can tell. It says here that Chris and PE YouTube, my interview with Barry Morphew on January 24th. Okay, well, I never saw that. I just saw that a preview saying that he was going to follow that up. Maggie, you're causing all kinds of equipment in here to be moving around.
Katie says, Mr. T, do not change the subject, but did you look, not to change the subject, but did you look up Kior Kunz, K-U-N-Z?
I'm not going to say that. I don't know that I did. Can you look that up? Or I think I asked somebody to send me an email. We've been slammed because we're right in the middle of closing in the sale of our store, and we're trying to do a full store inventory. And one of the workers in there that are buying the store tested positive for COVID, so I'm trying to stay away from them. But unfortunately, we've got a week to kind of clear this up.
No.
So
no,
I guess we did not.
4 days.
4 days? No. What was that question? Another question somebody had? Chris's interview comes on the 24th. He's going to be on every Sunday. I was afraid he was going to come in the middle of the week because we're on 3 days a week, and it was going to interfere with one of our hours here, but it's actually on 24th. I hope he does a good interview, and I hope that he gets some information that we don't already have. But I'm just telling you that I don't think he has. When I heard that, I said, I don't think he has an attorney because I don't know any attorney in the world that will let the client, whether they're guilty or not guilty, do an interview on the radio or YouTube. Now, that said, if Medina went missing, they'd have interviews from me, from everybody. I'd be on the news every night. I'd be on YouTube. I'd be on everything
every night because you'd be hungry.
No, I'd be wanting to try to find her. I'd have everybody I could on here, all the big channels, try to come up here and help me out. But in his situation, that everything that's been done and refusing to cooperate with the CBI, FBI, refusing to take a polygraph, refusing to take a stress test, a bunch of stuff, I doubt very seriously if he has an attorney that he's hired, because no one would let him do that. Thank you. Congratulations. Sarah said congratulations on the sale. Yes, thank you. It's not completely done yet. Friday should do the trick. Now we just have to pray that everybody can stay well. That's our thing. Although I think seriously, I've already had COVID, so yeah, it was a gun store that we had, And because the South is, of course, big gun state, and we also sold a lot of other stuff too. Guns was not our main thing. We sold all kinds of silver, gold, and jewelry like crazy. What is that? Any more questions on this? Anybody have an opinion on this? What would they think? Let me ask you something. How many of y'all believe that Suzanne will ever be found? Her remains have ever been found. I personally don't think she's alive at this point. If it was a kidnapping, let's just say this. If it was a kidnapping and they were not found in the first 24 hours, your chances of finding them alive are very, very slim. That's according to the FBI statistics. If it's not a kidnapping, which I believe it is not a kidnapping, and I believe that the bike theory was a ruse to kind of throw everybody off, then, it depends on the search warrants. That's the thing.
Nellie said, I'd love to see you guys do a show about missing people who were successfully found as a result of social media and YouTube.
Well, I'll tell you, there has been a few. I looked it up here recently. There has been a few found, but I think the most of the people that have been found, and I actually watched, I don't know if you watched it. Today it caught my eye and I watched it, is Dr. What's that doctor that comes on in the daytime?
Dr. Oz.
Dr. Oz. He was on today and he interviewed a girl. I even saved it for Medina to watch later. He interviewed a girl. She was kidnapped out of her front yard when she was 3 years old. And this guy was a sadistic sadist, and he raped her and abused her several times over and over and over. And then when he got tired of her, he threw her down a outhouse, 15-foot pit under an old abandoned outhouse. And fortunately, in the outhouse, it had a crack in the wall where most of the stains went out, but the chemicals were laying in the bottom of the outhouse. They had not gone away. She piled up at 3 years old, piled up sticks to sit on, but when they rescued her, her legs were black from her hips on down, past, I guess, from her thighs on down, completely black. And she got saved. Somebody heard her crying or something, or checking on this thing and heard her. But this guy only served 10 years. He's out now. Only served 10 years after raping this girl and doing all kinds of things that she said it was, she was totally, he did everything to her. And he took a plea deal and did 10 years in prison, and now he's out. He got released.
It would not do for me to know who that
absolutely. I'm telling you, he's an animal, does not deserve to be walking on this planet, much less out of jail. I don't know what I would want to know is what kind of person would make a deal with a guy to do 10 years in prison for doing that to a little girl. Because children are the most precious thing on earth. Children are. I
think that it's not going to be real long before America's conscience is seared about what has been going on with the young children and the babies.
But she was on Dr. Oz. If you got that, or you could go online and
AK said, please don't say his name.
And go online and watch that, though. Oh, they got a picture of him and everything. They said his name, everything. He's a piece of garbage, man. He's a piece of garbage. And the things, I mean, she turned out to be a very beautiful young lady. She's probably late 20s now on there, maybe even older. But they interviewed her and she just told everything.
Is she married?
I'm not sure she is or not.
I hope that they kept quiet where she's at, because
She's
that's a sadistic man that would get
and you know, they put him on, but I mean, why in the world? You know, 10 years. And no, it wouldn't do for me to have
Did somebody talk negative about somebody else's channel? Because we don't do that. It's all happening. Said something about don't talk negative.
Did somebody talk negative about a channel? I hope not. I didn't see it. If you did.
Oh, we got a thumbs down.
We got a thumbs down. Oh, well.
I said thumbs up, thumbs down. There's 171 people. Come on, y'all. Give us some more thumbs up or thumbs down.
Yeah, YouTube actually doesn't care, believe it or not. The more people are talking about you, up or down, they reward that for whatever reason.
Well, it may hurt my feelings, and I may never come back. No.
No, there was a channel that I mentioned last time about Dusty that I felt like there was some things that were said about Dusty, which I like Dusty, and I think he's doing a great job. And I think that he also did, Well, all I'm going to do is say that Dusty is great guy. All right. Real Gone Adventure Media. How are you doing today? Hope y'all doing good. AK, I hope you're doing good. We are never going to give up talking about Suzanne Morphew. I know we have some people that say that we're blaming Barry without evidence. What?
Helen wants to know, do you think Susan escaped and that's why the girls are so quiet?
No, I mean, what I think happened, and just from what I've read and some other stuff that I know about, is that I think that they had some domestic issue in the house, and that's when this happened. You know, she was on the phone with her friend texting about an upcoming wedding, and the phone call ended abruptly. That tells me whatever happened probably happened then, you know. They may have been arguing. They may be, you know, you think about this. She was removed from where her father had cancer, and her brother and all of her relatives lived, grew up. She was removed from that area, taken to a place down there and isolated out there away from town. Somebody said, I don't know if this is true or not, and maybe you can tell me, that she was a part of a domestic violence social group where she would go. I think she even kind of led a group, a domestic violence. Now, that's good that she was doing that, but I would bet that she was speaking from experience there. You know, they hardly ever. It'd be tough to lead a group on domestic violence or even drug addiction or anything if you've never been addicted to drugs, you never had domestic violence. You can actually say, oh, well, I heard about this, or oh, well, it's something like that. But if you've never experienced, how are you going to tell another person that has how you should act or how you should do or what you should do? You know, I find that very, very odd that they would have her teaching a class on domestic violence if she'd never experienced it. That's just my opinion. I think it happened probably, and I've heard either in the bathroom or the basement of the house. I think something happened. Maybe she wanted to leave. Maybe she didn't want to stay there anymore out in Colorado. Maybe she wanted a divorce. Maybe there was, you know, I've heard everything. We just don't know. And until we learn what the search warrant, don't you think it's funny too that they sealed the search warrants? That's very odd that they sealed the search warrants. All of our search warrants that we ever did for drugs, you could go, any defense attorney or anything could go to the courthouse and look at what we took out of a house. Anybody could, it was public record. And, so that, so if you wanted to say you knew of a big drug search warrant that happened in your town, you could go up to the courthouse and go to the criminal court clerk's office and asked them to see a copy of the return on the search warrant. And the return is when you do a search warrant, you return all the items that were taken. You take it back to the judge and he looks at it and then he signs off on the return. That's everybody does that, whether it's a federal search warrant or a police search warrant, they all have to do that. So what they did when they brought it back to the judge and he signed off on it, or the magistrate, they sealed it. Nobody can look at it in the courthouse. The lawyers can't go by and look at it, and they did it on both search warrants. So that tells me, that tells me they found something. I mean, if they didn't find anything, why seal it? You know, that's my opinion. Yeah, and you're right, Sally. Barry has been on a buying spree since the missing, his wife's been missing. You know, he bought the lot over there on the other end of the place. He bought a new truck or swapped a new truck. He's bought, you know, various things like that. I understand there might even be a condo. You know, and and we've talked about this before, my wife's even said this year that after a person dies or goes missing, a tragedy in the family, you really don't do anything for about a year and a half because you're kind of still dealing with that. You know, you should be dealing with it anyway.
What is your opinion on
property
that,
for his mom? That's right, but you know, even that, you know what I mean?
What is your opinion on the question you asked?
What?
Did you forget your question?
I must have. What is it?
I'm going to get you a B12 shot. You said, do y'all think she's dead or alive?
I don't think she's alive. I don't think she's alive.
Who's frozen?
And I think possibility they will find her remains. But that's just a possibility. It's a lot of area out there. But you do not have to have a body to prosecute somebody. If the criminal gossiper, she had a huge inheritance, moved. Now she vanished.
Frozen in despair after death. What? Sally, I'm lost.
I meant frozen in despair after death.
Yeah. Talking about the girls are frozen in despair?
They don't look like they have been from their pictures anyway. Yeah, I know they moved. I know she did have a big inheritance, but somebody told me the inheritance was applied to the house. Is that not true? That's what I had heard before. What else happens? Do you even remember? After my mom died.
Talking about.
I'll tell you, my mother died over in 1978, right before we got married. And it was not just one of the totally unexpected. A hospital actually killed her, gave her too much blood thinner, and she formed an aneurysm and
I
died.
understand, Susan.
But after that also, now, I didn't feel like I was in total shock for months, you know. I mean, we went and got married just because. I mean, she came to me. She said, "Do you want to put off the wedding?"
We went and got married.
And I said, "No, it's planned. It's everything's done. We'll do it." But still, it was. We were in shock. Which Barry is getting his money. I heard they froze inheritance. I don't think they froze inheritance. I don't know, because here's the thing. You remember, he went to her father, and asked to have her the guardianship done. And that is when somebody is incapacitated or not around to fulfill an obligation, a legal obligation. And so when he said, "No, I'm not going to do it," they had the oldest daughter signed on it. I don't understand why she could, and he was asking the father, but then he made all these decisions with the money at that point. So Obviously, it wasn't frozen.
Katie said, but I thought the father did not sign.
He didn't. But he went to the oldest daughter. They worked around him. The oldest daughter signed the guardianship. I don't know. I've got a friend that's an attorney, and I've been meaning to get with him and ask him about that. Even though I went to law school, I did not practice law, and I did not take the bar. And we didn't really get into that. Law is, you learn the basics in law school pretty much, and then you practice it afterwards, and you learn a lot more. But don't they need evidence like big pool of blood to prosecute without a body? Well, they have to establish that under the circumstances, she is likely to be dead. Now, sure, and we don't know what they took out of the search warrant. They may have found a large area of blood. They may found something that would indicate a struggle, that something happened. You remember this though? Somebody can be killed without shedding a bit of blood. Somebody can knock you in the head, cause an aneurysm in your brain. You could bleed in the brain inside the body and never bleed at all on the outside, not once. So there may not be any blood. But you can honestly say this. She was last seen on this date. She hasn't been seen since. All indications she's dead. I guarantee you this. In 7 years from now, if they don't charge him, he will have her declared dead. I guarantee it.
How in the world did the firefighter's wife get him declared dead in less than 6 months?
I had no idea.
That's a crazy one.
Michael Chambers. I had no idea. I think that, what the police will look at what all they took from inside the house, DNA, fingerprint evidence, evidence of a struggle if there was one. They'll talk to the person on the cell phones. They'll talk to Morgan. They'll talk to all these people. And then they'll formulate a case and bring it before the DA and ask, can we take this to a grand jury? And the grand jury will be impaneled, and 19 people will decide if they have enough to charge him and convict him. The grand jury is not a conviction. A grand jury just looks at the evidence and says, do you have enough to take it to trial? That's it. And the DA makes the decision, really, if they want. Now, here, I even gotten a little discussion with somebody the other day. They said, well, if you could have him indicted, but the DA could decide we're not going to prosecute him. And I said, that's entirely true. You can actually indict somebody and the DA say, I understand why they indicted him, but we just don't feel like that we can win this case, so we're not going to prosecute him. I personally do not think that this is the case in this situation, but it could. I think that we will see some movement from the DA within the next month or so, I would hope, but you just never can tell how long it will be. Yeah, I think so too, okay. I think enough people, is wanting to know basically what happened, and where are they? I don't feel like that the other DA was in a position to. It was kind of a lame duck situation, you don't, why get involved in a big trial and then have to leave and leave it, kind of exposed. So, cell phone left the house at the time it's supposed to bike ride. They say the phone pinged last at the house, but that is the phone.
But the phone is gone.
Yeah, I don't think they'll ever find that phone. If whatever happened to her, I believe happened in the house. And if that person, whoever did it, has the phone, if he's smart, he'll drop it in a, off a bridge or in a, cave or something. I mean, I just can't, or destroy it some way, because I just don't see it. Sure. I'm sure it may show a ping in the house, but, I don't expect it being here. Listen, folks, the bike thing, I just don't see it,
Well, the bike thing with Chambers. I don't see that either.
I don't see it either.
We need to go back over that case.
Yeah.
I mean, not tonight. Do it tomorrow.
If the blood found in the basement was the quantity to believe the victim could not survive, they would grounds for a death murder. Yes. Okay. And
where do you think Susan is?
I've heard all kinds of theories. I don't know. I really don't know. She could be anywhere. I mean, you think about this. He had that earth moving machine at his house. You could very well bury somebody underground,
Can Andy do a civil case?
Sure.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Sorry.
Yes. And if it doesn't, if there's not any prosecution on this, yes, he can. And civil case, here's the thing. They can require him to testify. In a criminal case, you cannot require him to testify and incriminate yourself. In a civil case, you can require him to testify. Now, can he lie? Yeah, he can lie. But that was what they did to O.J. Simpson. They'll put you in a room for interrogatories, and they'll question you for 4 or 5 hours. And they'll make you do a written interrogatories at the start. And an interrogatory is basically just a group of questions. And sure, you have your lawyer there, but if you object to the question, they'll call the judge right there on the phone, see what the ruling is on the judge. The judge is not in the room when they do the interrogatories. From Greece, somebody said Greece.
MH said she speaks Greek fluently.
Wow.
Because I was telling her about the Messianic Jew I listened to in the mornings for Bible study.
Mm-hmm. Who knew Suzanne would be at home alone that morning? Well, I think that's a pretty much answered question there. It's very new for sure, and I don't know if anybody else knew. I don't have that answer to that.
Who is Jeff Puckett?
Jeff Puckett, he may have knew that, but Jeff Puckett was in Bloomfield. Or ended up in Bloomfield. I just don't think there's a motive for Puckett. And would he have time to do anything with the body before he had to be in Bloomfield? Do you really know Susan was missing? Don't really know when Susan was missing. We kind of think that she's missing between 10:30 that night and the time that the neighbor went over there and checked.
Well, when the phone call happened and it dropped. Or not the phone call, but the text.
Yeah, I think that was when whatever happened. But
oh, Sally. I heard about that guy that held those women for years in Cleveland.
Yeah.
I think they burned that house to the ground, didn't they? I'm pretty sure they either tore it down or burned it down.
Yeah. There's a lot of unanswered questions. They are. And that, and that, just like who it was earlier said, he doesn't like to talk about rumors. He wants fact. Well, if he wants facts, there's not much of them other than the facts that I discussed with him. I mean, we just don't have any true fact. I mean, if I could look at the search warrant, I could tell you some facts, but I can't, But we need to keep her name. Every tuber out here needs to keep her name online and talking about her every week. At least somebody needs to say something, even if you just show her poster up every week, because we don't want the case to go cold. We don't want it to go cold. It's not cold right now. It's inactive. I don't know what the police have. We don't know. If the police turn around and say, look, we didn't get nothing from the search warrant, we don't have anything, then it's going to go cold. It's going to go cold fast.
What about the other mother missing on Mother's Day? The same day that Suzanne Morphew came up missing.
You mean the girl?
Echo.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think there's some work being done on Echo's case, though. I think there's some things that may be coming out in the next couple of months. I don't know if there's a lot of stuff in that little town up there that is being looked at. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Hello, Sparkle.
Nope, I'm not going to stop. I did have an email from somebody today that they gave me a picture of some place and told me about it, but I'm not going to discuss any of that. I'm trying to find out what case it refers to.
Okay, Profiling Evil Chris is interviewing Barry Moore.
Okay, great.
Isn't he?
I hope he is. I don't know. I haven't heard yes or no. Really, huh?
That's what they've been talking about.
Yeah, I mean, everybody says that, but when you go over to his site, I haven't seen anything that says interview with Barry Morphew.
Sarah, we're not sure about Echo. We're going to have to try to get in touch with her daughter again.
Yeah, I believe there's some things going on.
Thank you, AK.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, listen, we will see you tomorrow. What, tomorrow night?
Yes, baby.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow night. Hopefully there'll be some. We're really hoping that this situation with those two kids out in California City, we're really, really hoping and praying that there's a positive outcome in that situation. It's not looking good. It's just, the longer it sits out there and these kids are not found, the worse it's going to be. Dina had tried to get me to download something to me.
Thanks, AK.
AK, thank you very much. I do appreciate that. And also we want to keep Suzanne Morphew too. You think of 8 months.
Okay, Lynn said, yes, Chris said himself on PE that he did an interview with Barry.
I hope he incriminated himself. That's all I hope. That's the main thing. Every time he opens his mouth is another thing for if he ever brings it to court, is another thing that they're going to bring up, I assure you.
I had the cutest video for them to see.
Yeah, I'm trying to see it. Let me see if
Maggie and Gracie's eating her food. And
I'll guarantee I'll get it up for tomorrow. Okay. How about that? I'll guarantee it.
Okay.
That's
good night, Linda.
We appreciate it, and we will see you tomorrow night. And I'm just going to play one of our ones that we've done in the past. And
did you tell them that we woke up with snow on the ground?
No, that's something that we were actually at her dad's
in Tennessee.
Sunday night.
Yeah, we went to sleep. There wasn't nothing on the ground.
Woke up the next morning, it's 2.5 inches of snow on the ground.
Okay, Lori asked, could she hear the joke about the 3 moles?
No, we're not playing.
He won't let me, Lori.
No. All right, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Good night.
I'll have to sneak on here one night and tell it.
Ready? Dead dog. Dead. Bang. Dead dog. Lay down. 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 Dead. Dead dogs have their head down. Dead. Put your head down. Wait a minute. Look at that dead dog. Woo! Hey! Okay, down. Okay, yes, we got excited. Maggie, now you're going to quit, aren't you? Because I turned the camera. You talking to me? What? You got your grin on. Are you talking to me? Inside voice. Oh, that's not an inside voice. What? Careful. You talking to me? That's good. Hey. Okay, that is good. Hey, you're using your inside voice. Inside voice. Oh, you better be careful. What do you want? Huh? Inside voice. That's cat food. You can't have cat food. All day long you've wanted that cat food. Maggie, listen to me. You cannot have the cat food. Do you know it? Hey, inside voice. Inside voice.